All right, what is up? We are live. Kyle Larson wins in the Valvoline Chevrolet at Sonoma. It was a good finish there at the end, although he ran away with it in the final laps. The battle between Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Larson there at the end in the closing stages of that race did make for a very interesting race, caution field race. But here is the rest of the finishing order. Michael McDowell finishes second there after Martin Truex Jr. runs out of gas. Chris Buescher ends up in third place. Chase Elliott rallies to get a fourth place there after staying out there long on his strategy. Tyler Reddick in eighth place. Christopher Bell, didn't hear much from him all day today, but has a nice rebound from not winning the race because of engine failure. The holds up today and has a nice ninth place finish here. Todd Gilliland in 10th place just signed the contract extension and gets a 10th place here. Corey LaJoy with an 11th place finish. Good finish for him. Kyle Busch ends up in 12th place on the official NASCAR results here in the Zone Chevrolet after running out of gas and gets spun by Ross Chastain in the final stages of the race. Brad Keselowski ends up 13th. Daniel Suarez 14th. Alex Bowman 15th. Zane Smith, good race for Zane Smith. 16th place for Zane Smith. Outruns his teammate Carson Hocevar in 17th. So that might be the first time I remember this season where Hocevar gets outrun by his rookie teammate Zane Smith. Ryan Preece in 18th. Eric Jones 19th. Bubba Wallace in 20th. Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Kaz Grala, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, Martin Truex Jr., after running out of gas, ends up in 27th, the last car on the lead lap. The rest of these drivers either a lap down or otherwise had trouble. Daniel Hemrick, John Hunter Nemechek, William Byron, Will Brown, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe, Cam Waters, Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs, and Denny Hamlin, after completing 2 laps, finishes dead last with an engine failure, which led me to put the troll poll question up. Does Denny Hamlin get the waiver? Yes, he attempted the race today. No, NASCAR has rules and such. 37%. Stop trolling, it's too soon. And FedEx gets a 1 race credit for sponsoring this race since they only got 2 laps out of it. Now, I guess we can look at the stages too. Stage 1, Tyler Reddick wins, and stage 2, Chris Buescher wins. So 10 bonus points and 1 playoff point apiece for both of those drivers. Kyle Busch softens the cushions the blow a little bit, running out of fuel by finishing finishing fourth in the second stage. Martin Truex Jr. finishing third in the second stage. That'll help him a little bit, but not too much. So those are the only stage things sort of notes here, I guess. Kyle Larson did finish third, so add third place in stage 1, third place bonus points to him for his win as well. So there. That being said, let's take a look at the points, because obviously with Denny Hamlin finishing last, the points lead is going to change, and it would have been really interesting if Martin Truex Jr. had run second, but unfortunately he did run out of fuel. So Kyle Larson is going to take the lead here. He is now up 14 points over Chase Elliott. Denny Hamlin is 6 points behind. Tyler Reddick, if he hadn't unfortunately run out of gas, he is now minus 53. William Byron in sixth. Brad Keselowski in seventh. Ty Gibbs in eighth. Christopher Bell ninth. Ross Chastain 10th. Alex Bowman 11th. Ryan Blaney 12th. Chris Buescher 13th, and then Bubba Wallace and Kyle Busch in 14th and 15th, and Joey Logano in 16th. As it stands right now, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano would be knocked out because Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez, 18th and 19th in points, would take over Kyle Busch and Joey Logano's spot in the playoffs. So Bubba Wallace right now, your last driver in. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, and those are the first 3 that'll be out. Michael McDowell on that list because the other 2 rows are filled up by Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez. So there you go. There is your points breakdown. And as far as rookie of the year battle goes, looks like that is now a 10-point advantage to Carson Hocevar over Josh Berry. So there you go. There is your points rundown. And we'll jump in and see what you guys would like to talk about. Let's see. Does Denny always have a hangover at Sonoma? Him and Tyler Reddick, they run good here, but for whatever reason, don't get the finishes typically. Although Tyler Reddick did get a decent finish here today, ends up in 8th place, but definitely had the car to beat early on. But apparently needed that fresh air. No waiver for Hamlin, says Shaw. I don't know how, but Larson sabotaged Truex. So Shaw re-upping. Appreciate you, my friend. There's a fist bump there. Let's see. 14 months, Shaw. I hear you, brother. Let's see. Hi, everyone. How you doing? BB, what's up, Chrome Diesel? Hope you're doing good today, my friend. Another week of pain as a Byron fan, says Say Kyle. Yeah, he got off track early, and he got the lucky dog, I want to say, at one point, but just never could get it going. Had a fast car, but couldn't get it going after going off road. And once again, Fox coverage, and also I was getting up to get snacks and stuff like that in between the race. So I missed portions of some of these cautions here, especially early on, because I was expecting it to be just a nice Sonoma race where you don't have a lot of cautions. So I missed a few of them there. Larson is the best, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, he can turn left and right. For all the people like NASCAR drivers, just turn left. Bruce Reed, I'm happy 2 Fords in the top 5. Yeah, and if you're an RFK man, look, RFK lost on strategy. 15 lap newer tires, especially at a road course, is almost impossible to overcome. But the car itself had race winning speed, and they maximized what they could do with their strategy. So you got to be happy with the finish there for the 17 car. If you don't get all those weird early cautions, maybe it's a different story. Would like to see who actually had the faster car if everybody was on the same tire strategy, but ifs and buts were candy and nuts, everybody would have a very Merry Christmas. Nice 43 shirt, says Delmar Kaufman. I appreciate it. Dennis completed a grand total of 3.9 miles today, says Bumblebee. So Hamlin started the race. That's all that matters, says Chrome Diesel. LOL. Hey, yeah, there you go. So once again, trolling NASCAR is terrible rule. Bumblebee dropping the merch links there if you want to check out the merch link. The Actions Hypocritical shirts, the Baloney Burger t-shirts, the hats, the sweatshirts just in time for summer, and what stickers, and what else do we have? The other things. Let's see. Could you be more vague? Howdy from the Great White North. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, Canada? Hope you're doing good up there in the Great White North. Denny got 1 point. Hey, so there you go. Denny Hamlin did get 1 point for attempting the race today. Fox showing a interview with Harvick and A-Rod with 5 laps to go had me literally cussing in 8 different languages. Yeah, that was pretty insane. Like, what is up with that? Like, could we have not gotten that? Could we have not gotten that knocked out before the final few laps of the race? Wallace is in, says I do chronic. Yeah, Bubba Wallace is the last driver in on points right now as it stands. Because if the playoffs started today, Daniel Suarez and Austin Cindric would bump out Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, if I'm remembering correctly from what I just read 5 minutes ago. Thank God no more Fox's bad camera work until Daytona 2025. And ironically, Fox gave the Bernsey Award to a cameraman. Now, once again, I want to say, I don't think it's the camera people's fault. It's actually the director of the DP, the director of photography, or the director. He's the one giving you the bad shots. The cameramen are just focused on the camera work is not shaky or anything. The camera work itself is good, but the DP, he keeps going to these weird scenes of fans. Like, we didn't even see Martin Truex Jr. run out of gas because they were focused on some fans cheering when Kyle Larson crossed the finish line. You have to go to like NASCAR.com or their YouTube channel to check the highlight, just the director picking odd scenes and stuff like that. RCR is in talks with Toyota. TRD is trying to sweeten the pot and stick it to Chevrolet. Chevrolet only has one team they help, and everyone knows it's Hendrick. I would say they probably help Trackhouse too, and I'm pretty sure they help RCR because RCR and Hendrick are the 2 teams that come up with the engine package. They work together in that, so we'll see. We'll see if that Toyota stuff to RCR. I'm skeptical. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm skeptical that that's going to happen. Just like I was skeptical that Dodge was ever going to get up with RCR. There's always these rumors that RCR is going to switch brands. I just don't see it, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I didn't think Stuart Haas Racing would ever sell out either. So that's there's always a good chance I'm wrong. And before Austin Dillon got caught up in that wreck with Josh Berry, where I guess Bubba Wallace went off track, and then when Bubba Wallace tried to get save the car and then got back on track, it scared Josh Berry, and Josh Berry missed his braking zone and sent it in there way too hard and took out all those people. So that took out Austin Dillon, who was actually having a pretty good run. So all the RCR cars were really fast at Sonoma. Just only one of them got the finish, and even the car that got the finish had some bad luck. So from a perspective of bringing fast cars to the racetrack, they brought fast cars to the racetrack. They just didn't get the finishes they were looking for. Mr. Monk, that's not happening, says Bumblebee. So she doesn't think Toyota RCR deal. She thinks that's more of a rumor than anything as well. Truex was only up there by luck and not speed. Says Duke Chronic. I don't know. He was chasing down Busher there at the end, so I feel like the speed was there. He's just not really great at qualifying, and you saw a lot of that today as well. Some people qualified better, some people didn't qualify well. There were comers and goers. You were able to pass. I was surprised at the cars being able to pass here, whereas the Xfinity series looked like they had a lot more trouble passing. Childress will never leave GM, says Bumblebee. Byron got the lucky dog and was first in the alternate fuel strategy, but then broke a toe link. Oh my goodness! When Barry ran out of talent in front of him on turn 11, says I say Kyle. So okay, so he broke a toe link. I didn't see that part of it. I knew he recovered from the spin out or whatever, but I didn't know there were so many cars involved in that. I didn't catch that he was one of them. So okay, that explains the poor finish there. Appreciate you there, Stay Kyle. A lot going on this race. Hard to keep up with everybody. If RCR would have talked to another manufacturer, I think Ford, Chevrolet, Hendrick, and Toyota has Gibbs. Fox being Fox always cuts potential battles, showing kids too often. They were even showing some random fans the moment Truex ran out of fuel. Yeah, exactly, Chrome Diesel. That's a great point, and that's I was talking about that a minute ago. I want to say, yeah. So like as Kyle Busch crosses the finish line, they cut to some fans celebrating and cheering, and then you hear him talking about Martin Truex Jr. running out of gas, but you didn't actually get to see it. Kind of late on this, but I'm still shocked that Big Country emphasis on on this. He's putting the CUNT in country. Needs a safe space from the internet, says Charlotte. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think from his perspective, that's probably the best way you can answer that question because anything he says, he's just so on the he's on the heel side of the fans. So he is right. Anything he says, including what he said, it's going to be taken by the fans and be like, I hate this guy because people just hate this guy. Much like Denny Hamlin, there's just a lot of people that it doesn't matter what Denny Hamlin says, they're just going to hate on him. And to be fair, the poll question is just I'm just having some fun. I actually like Denny Hamlin, but it's just having some fun with the whole. All we talked about last week was the stupid waiver. I was lucky not to see Harvick interview with 5 to go because I was watching Abu Dhabi sports stream. LOL, says Chrome Diesel. Hey, there you go. I need to get the VPN going here. The guy in the truck's fault, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, that's 100%. The DP, director of photography, the guy in the truck, the director, whatever you want to call it. On my way home, luckily, I'm not driving though, says OJ and Toothpaste. Hey, there you go. I feel you, my brother. OJ and Toothpaste giving us live action from the racetrack all day today on the Discord. So much appreciation to our man in the field, OJ. Herbert from Family Guy is working for Fox as DP, says Chrome Diesel. Are we not to the point where they can just take a static 8K image that is zoomed out and catch far more, but cropped to show what we need for TV? That is a good question, and to that end, it depends on what kind of equipment they're using. So, and this gets into camera nerdery, so I'm going to be very brief about it. There's HDMI cables, and then there's also a cable on the back of the camera that looks like a coax cable. And when they're using the coax cable, now if that's what Fox's switchers and stuff like that are still running on, I don't know. I can't speak. That means the best they can shoot is 1080p and transfer it over the airwaves. So that might be part of the image, a part of the issue with the images. But yeah, you would think at some point that they would invest and get that 8K, and then they could zoom it in and it would still be 4K and stuff like that, or just take the 8K and down sample it to 4K. Then you would have the crispest 4K you've got, and you could still, like you're saying, zoom in on stuff like that. All right, I know people don't come here for camera talk, so I'm going to cut that one short. I use NASCAR Drive to see the pass for the lead coming out of the pits. Fox changed cameras, says Duke Chronic. Oh, that's unfortunate. Lots of Larson fans at the track today. Love sitting in turn 2. Saw lots of action. He did see lots of action. And like I said, once again, if you want to visit the Discord, you can see all those action shots. He did a good job keeping up with the action from his corner at the racetrack today. And much appreciated, as always, whenever anybody wants to go out into the field for us and give us some live action. He got a couple of replays that Fox, he did a better job than Fox. And one of the times he did a better job than Fox, he was grabbing a nice cold one to refresh himself and still got a better replay. And by image, I mean the video feed. Yeah, I got you. And like I said, it could have something to do with how they've got which cables they're running and stuff like that. I would have to investigate and see what they got going on. Bumblebee's laughing at what Chrome Diesel said. Winston points leader is Chase Elliott by 117 over James Dennis Allen Hamlin. It says Cody Ledger. So there you go. If you want to go to the old school Winston Cup points, your points leader right now is Chase Elliott. Old Clyde, the Glide. I hope NBC does a better job than Fox. Dale Jr. For them this year and move into Amazon next year, says Bruce Reed. Dale Jr. is out. Rick Allen is out. Maybe Steve Letarte. I'm not sure. Is this the first race where the tire wheel combination did not cause any issues for the first time ever? Might be. I know somebody was experiencing some center chunking, but that doesn't really affect anything, and it could very well be because they were getting aggressive going over the curbing and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think we saw any tire issues today. So good on Goodyear. There was a little bit of fall off, not a crazy amount, but there was enough tire fall off where Kyle Larson made it work to his advantage. So yeah, I think the tires were pretty solid today. Let's see. Did Fox ever show what happened to KB and the Watermelon Man? Says Dr. Monk. Mr. Monk, nope, they did not show it, but you do have it on NASCAR.com, or just one of their social media channels. You can go and check it out. It looks like Ross got in there too deep and was never going to make the corner. So it looks like it was on Ross from the one angle that I've seen. It's hard to say without a zoomed out angle, but it looked like Ross got in there a little hot and got into Kyle Busch. But who knows? Like I said, I'd like to have more than the in car angle, but we never got it. Did you see Cindric almost flip? Yeah. So Austin Cindric, I think he was able to keep going after that too. Let me see where Cindric finished here. I know I read it, but he was down here. He finished in 22nd, so he recovered from almost flipping that car to finish in 22nd. Not the finish he wanted, but I mean, by God, he finished 22nd after almost flipping the car. Crazy fact is that Hemrick and Haley, 27th to 29th, have completed the fourth and sixth most laps. Says Cody Ledger on the season, so that's actually pretty good. That means the Rick Ware equipment will go to the finish. Now they just need to work on making it go a little bit faster toward the finish. And they've had a big improvement this year in their stuff. So shout out to them. What a steal getting Justin Haley, and then Daniel Hemrick, of course, over there at Colleague. He didn't have the day he wanted. Obviously, he wanted to be up there where AJ Allmendinger was at, but just another solid day for Hemrick, doing Daniel Hemrick things. If he can keep just chipping away and getting good, consistent finishes and keep building that program, he's pretty good at building a program. No matter where he goes, he's not going to set the world on fire, but he's kind of like I would compare him maybe to an Eric Almirola, where you don't talk about him a lot, but he just does his job, and he's always, if you give him the right equipment, he's there at the end. With Will Power breaking his winless streak, he also takes the championship lead from Dixon. Three-way battle for the championship between Power, Palou, and Dixon. Game 7 moment. Hey, there you go. And an actual real Game 7 moment. They don't need any manufactured drama. Hopefully Scott Dixon wins, that being said. All those other guys are losers, and Scott Dixon needs to win. Call me crazy, but we have 36 plus, no bias at all. Call me crazy, but we have 36 plus in-car cameras. Why do we not have a fixed camera that covers every single angle of the track? It's a good question. That's a good question. I've always wondered why they don't have just one. They used to have the Goodyear blimp or whatever, but why they don't have just one camera up there with a wide angle lens that gets the whole track, just in case you miss something and you're running a constant feed of that, so you at least have one view of it. I don't know. I don't know their camera situation, how much funding has been cut, how much funding they have. There's a lot of questions behind the scenes that would have to be answered. So I don't know. I just can't answer it. So it would depend. I'm sure they're doing the best with what they have, would be probably my answer to that. Fox needs the fast Xfinity internet to revamp them. Yeah, you would think with a sponsor like that. And if you see the TV trucks and stuff like that, they've got these massive satellites attached to basically trucks, the back of trucks or trailers, whatever you want to call them. They've got plenty of juice. So you would think that they would be broadcasting these things in 4K by now. They do the NFL games like that, so the capabilities there. But I guess they're saving the good cameras for the most watched sport in the United States, and that would be the NFL or NIFL. Word to the Big Bird boys. Just checking in, actually watching the race. Just got home. I catch you all Tuesday. Thanks to BB. I appreciate you there, E. Damon. We won't ruin it by telling you who won, just in case you haven't already heard. Elliott finished top 8 in the last 4 Sonoma races. Yeah, he had the second best overall driver rating. I've got that pulled down. But him, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Martin Truex Jr., I think, were the top 4 overall driver rating in the last 3 races. So, yeah, he was definitely in the mix. And I think Elliott had the best average finish, if I'm thinking about it off the top of my head. Byron had a tire issue, had a small leak, which caused the first off-roading excursion early in the race. Yeah, I knew about the tire issue and the off-roading. I just didn't know what caused him to break the toe link and then lose the rest of all that track position and all that good stuff. Why he ended up having a bad finish, but until you told me there, he was apparently part of the Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, a guy like everybody, whoever wasn't in that wreck would probably be easier to name off. Have a blessed night. I got to go. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you there, Mr. Monk, and thanks for hanging out with us. I'm thinking I will be going to Watkins Glen this year. I'll be done with my treatments and need to get out of the house. That's what's up, Bruce. So Bruce Strong, he'll be at Watkins Glen. If you go out there, let us know. We'll try to get the Baloney gang out there to rally around you. And if I've got the weekend off, I'll try to meet you up there. But I can't make any promises. I'm proud. SVG didn't say as fast as Xfinity Internet yesterday after winning Xfinity race at Sonoma. Yeah, I'm kind of glad of that myself. If Fox would get rid of the cartoon characters, prioritize the important parts of the race over commercials, and act like it's a serious sport instead of a comedy show, would they get all the hate? I think you're on to quite a bit there. So the first thing is, it's not the early 2000s anymore, right? The goofball slapstick, like there's a time and place for that, but you can't do it for the whole race because it gets tiresome. So the stuff like that would be actually way funnier if they took the rest of the broadcast seriously. Like if you were just serious for a good chunk of the race, and then when there were lulls in the race, you could get into the goofy slapstick type of stuff. Because I'll actually go the opposite side of that. I would say NBC, sometimes they're too buttoned up and they could use some comic relief and stuff like that. So there's two sides of it. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I do think if they took it more seriously at the beginning, especially when they're just running over strategy and stats and stuff like that, especially pre-race and things like that, then you can be goofy. Maybe when the race hits lulls and things like that. Hey, BB, what is the deal about Denny Hamlin needing a waiver? Says Glenn Park. We're just having some fun with what happened last week. Denny Hamlin blew his engine on lap 2. So he's only credited with 2 laps. So he didn't technically run the whole race or whatever. We're just having some fun with last week because everybody was crying about waivers. It's just a joke. Nothing serious. Still trying to figure out why Michael McDowell is leaving front row, says Delmar Kaufman. I think there's more to that story, and they just can't come out and say why yet. But I'm pretty sure Spire is going to be getting an infusion of money, and I'm pretty sure I'm guessing, this is a huge guess and speculation. I'm pretty sure Andretti is going to get involved with Spire and bring a lot of funding and probably a lot more speed over there. That's the theory that I'm working on. It's the one that makes the most sense because and the counter argument to that is people are saying Michael McDowell signed with Spire because they gave him the long-term extension and stuff like that. But Spire just gave Todd Gilliland the long-term extension. So I'm feeling like Michael McDowell probably would have had a long-term extension too. So I'm thinking that he knows that there is a serious influx of cash and possibly technology coming in over there at Spire. That's my guess. But it is just that at the end of the day, I guess. Wouldn't get all the hate, says Say Kyle. Yeah, I knew what you meant, my friend. I'm one of the worst with typing with my thumb. So I try to figure out what you guys are saying. I'm not a snob about that. The Kyle finished 12th or 17th. According to NASCAR's official rundown on J-Ski, which he gets his sheet of paper directly from provided by NASCAR statistics. According to them, Kyle Busch finished 12th. So 12th place here, according to J-Ski's official NASCAR printout. Now, obviously, all these results are unofficial until tech is completed, but this is usually pretty official. So I'm thinking he finished 12th. I know some had him at 17th, but this one right here is after the points came out. So I would assume 12th place is what he's going to get awarded with, because they did throw the caution there before everybody crossed the finish line. So I'm thinking the moment of caution, when they threw that caution flag, that's probably how Kyle Busch got that 12th place finish. Hell of a drive for Larson after the last pit stop. Yeah, he didn't go off track. He didn't put a wheel wrong. He did everything he had to do with the new tires. A lot of times you have those new tires, you still would get a little bit nervous when those guys are so far away. So he drove a smart race, and he knew they would come to him. So he did what he was supposed to do. As soon as I saw the strategy Logano's that's one we do need to talk about. Logano's crew chief was doing, I knew he was going to get wrecked, and he did. They were driving wild out there, and track position is too important. Love the channel, by the way, says I hit in the wall. So that's a good point. Joey Logano, before he pitted, he obviously had no idea that all the cautions would proceed after that and all that stuff. So they went with a certain strategy. Well, that certain strategy they went with, and he had a fast car. I actually was really going to be interested to see where he finished if this didn't happen, if he was able to control this race for a longer amount of time. However, he gets caught up in a wreck, and I don't know how bad that hurt the car, but from that point on, the strategy just never fell his way. So we never knew uh, how good of a car he had. Was he a car like Tyler Reddick where he needed the clean air out front? Tyler Reddick's car when he had the clean air out front was absolutely a rocket ship, and so was Joey Logano's. But after he got caught up in that deal, he was never able to just really recover and get it going. He ends up finishing 21st. But he had in my opinion, he had a much better car than that. He did finish ninth in stage two. So there were times when he was up there. But like I said, the overall strategy just didn't fall his way. Okay, thanks for clearing that up for me. Says Glenn Park. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, the poll question, just joking around. It's not. He doesn't actually need a waiver. Didn't McDowell basically say he got offered more money from a long term agreement? I think he just was talking about the security of a long term agreement, but I think that's just what he's saying out loud. I feel like he knows something more that we don't know because there's no way, in my opinion, that you leave front row because they would have given him the same extension Todd Gilliland got, in my opinion. I no way you leave front row without knowing something. I feel like he knows something, but that's just me. I could be totally wrong. Michael McDowell wanted security. Front Row Motorsports would only do 1 year deals. I'd rather have job security than getting the boot at the end of the next year searching for a ride. And that's the counter argument for sure. I just don't believe that. I think Front Row would have gave him an extension the length of Todd Gilliland's. But that's just me. That's just me. I think with what he's accomplished this year, he could have got a longer term extension, or he needs a better agent. He could have got a longer term extension. Did it for family security, says Shaw. Does Loves go with McDowell or stay with Front Row? I would have to guess Loves is probably going to stay with Front Row, although it's going to be weird to see Michael McDowell not have Loves on there. Because I feel like if Loves was Michael McDowell's sponsor that he had, he probably could have been at a different place a long time ago. I feel like Loves is a Front Row Motorsports deal. Go number 5, says Mike Honcho. Yep, he got it done today. I think Corey is out of the 7 next year, says Delmar Coffin. Hard to say. Hard to say. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over there. It's a bad day to be a Toyota fan, says Lovey Barkley. Yeah. The strategy didn't fall Toyota's way. They had some fast cars, specifically Tyler Reddick before he made some contact there with Larson too, where he said maybe something on the front corner was messed up. So maybe it wasn't just the clean air. Maybe something with the splitter got hurt as well. So it's hard to say. Larson is 3 Sonoma wins away to tying Jeff Gordon, says Chrome Diesel. Hey, there you go. That's an interesting fact. Who would have thought when Kyle Larson first came into the sport, being a dirt guy, that he would be this close to Sonoma wins with Jeff Gordon, another California driver before he moved to Indiana. Jeff Gordon, another one with dual home tracks, right? Indiana and California. Drivers thought they were on Earth 2. Normally it's boring at the beginning and everyone rushes to cause multiple wrecks at the end. We got the opposite today. That's a pretty fair point. So normally these races are nice and clean, but it is what it is. It was not that way today. Camaro 50 with the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Good looking out. Jackson for a Kyle win. I appreciate you, my friend. And I predicted it. I actually predicted this one. And last week I had as my dark horse Austin Cindric. So we're 2 for 2. 2 for 2. So hopefully we can keep that momentum going. And literally all I do is just look at the last 3 races and I take 4 drivers out of that and that are the best out of that. And I pick one of them. So I've gotten super lucky the last 2. And then for my dark horse is the same thing. Just 4 guys that nobody's talking about that could run well there. Yeah, much appreciated there, Camaro 50. This is Larson's first Sonoma win, the 1.9 mile layout. Oh yeah. So for the new layout, so yeah, that's pretty cool as well. And the track record, I think Joey Logano got the track record there in qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. Loves would sponsor. Skip ads. Loves should sponsor Jesse Love with the paint name Loves Machine on the car. That would be pretty cool. So what if Front Row Motorsports just really flips everything on its head and goes after Jesse Love? Maybe brings him into the fold over there with all the they've got 2 extra seats to fill now. What if Jesse Love driving the Love's car is one of them? I still think I want to say if I'm Front Row, you got to be looking at Noah Gragson, although he's not a good road course racer. So you're going to lose Michael McDowell's road course stuff with Noah Gragson. But Noah Gragson and Josh Berry, I feel like would be, because I feel like Chase Briscoe's already probably spoken for. So that's why I'm leaving him out. But I would say I would go after Josh Berry and Noah Gragson. They both have experience. They're both fairly young. I know Josh Berry. I think Josh Berry is like 30. So he's still fairly young. He's coming right into his prime in the Cup Series. So I feel like those would be the 2 guys I would be most interested of. as far as the Stewart Haas drivers that are out there, guys that have experience but are still pretty young. Now, if you want to go super young, I mean, you've already got Todd Gilliland, so you've got one young guy. Then you could just pull anybody from the Xfinity series. That would be an opportunity to do that as well. So, yeah, all right. Poll question ended up with no, Denny Hamlin shouldn't get the waiver. 33%. NASCAR's rules and such. 33%. Yes, he attempted the race today. 25%. Stop trolling. It's too soon at 17%. And FedEx gets a one race credit for not being on TV as much as they should have been today, is at 27%. Say, Kyle, pretty sure Gregson versus Byron in the bracket today. He scores the upset, and Denny is out too. Big upsets today. Oh, crap. I forgot to do the bracket. All right. I'm going to try to remember to do the bracket for next week. Somebody in the Discord remind me, because I keep forgetting to do it. I'm trying to give it a fair chance because I was pretty aggressive on it. So I'm trying to give it a fair shake. I do need to do it. So let me know in the Discord so I don't forget to do it. Let's see. Jesse Love would need a sense of humor to drive the Loves machine. LOL, says Shaw. I think it would be a good matchup there. Larson with Elite. What's up, my friend? Elite dropping a pretty good, pretty well timed video with the Denny Hamlin thing. So yeah, appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, Larson got it done today. No doubt about it. Unlike your Cubs, I have stopped betting on your Cubs in DraftKings, my friend, because they find a way to let me down. How do they possibly not cover against the White Sox? The White Sox have won like less than 20 games this year. This is a side tangent and a wild rant, and I'm sure you're feeling the pain more than me in my $1 bets. But but I was like, my God, I was like, the Cubs can't even beat the White Sox to cover. I was like, I'll stop betting on them. So typically my strategy with that is I just bet against the White Sox because they're so bad. But the Cubs let me down. Like one of the first teams this year that have let me down against the White Sox. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain on that particular day. But hopefully your Cubbies can get it going, my friend. I missed something. What's the Hamlin waiver deal about? Says Lovey Barkley. It's a joke. It's a joke. So I'm just going to take that down now. We're going to end that. Let's see. Baloney, could you do a weekly fantasy picks episode? I need help, says Delmar Kaufman. I would have to see somebody's I guess how Yahoo Sports does it and stuff like that. I don't know. I've stopped playing fantasy. It just makes life more fun when I'm not doing that. And I don't even actually bet on the races anymore either. Because I just got I don't know, I got bored with that. Let's see. Discord. Come on, everyone. We have a lot of fun over there. Yeah. So if somebody wants to drop the Discord link, that would help out as well. I never remember my password for this. On the computer. I got it on my phone. That's typically I'm a thumb typer for Discord. But yeah, that's that. LOL, yeah, I don't need to know what's happening with my Cubs. I don't even know what's happening with my Cubs. Just waiting on the trade deadline to get some more arms and hopefully another power guy. They definitely need some pitching. That's for sure. From the I watched a little bit of the game. They definitely need a little bit of help there in the bullpen. So hopefully they get that going. I'm not even going to tell you who I'm a fan of because we're having a really good season and everybody hates my team anyway because it's the Yankees. So yeah, we're not struggling at all this year. So I'm not even going to pretend like I've had struggle seasons. But also other family members pulled for the Braves and the Dodgers, so I'll pull for them too. So I'm pretty much the worst possible front runner baseball fan of all time. But mainly, I'm a Yankees first, and then the other two teams second. So other than the Braves and the Dodgers in the early '90s, never really have had to struggle there too bad. Have the Yankees ever struggled? They did in the '80s. So like in the '80s and early '90s, they struggled. So Don Mattingly, who was one of the best Yankees of all time, he retired 1 year before they went on that streak to win to start winning all those championships. So other than him, he's probably the best Yankee to never have a World Series. I'll start paying attention to baseball if Orlando gets a team. Dude, you got Tampa right there. I mean, Tampa's not that far away, and they've got a good stadium. And the good thing about going to a Tampa Bay Rays game is you've got room to do whatever you want to do because nobody's there. So Tampa, man, check them out. At least be a super casual fan, or I'm sure you got a minor league team near you somewhere. Minor league is actually more fun. Myrtle Beach, because you're a Cubs fan, Elite. Myrtle Beach, the Myrtle Beach Mermen, or Myrtle Beach Pelicans is their real name. They do a recreation of of Wrigley Field on aspects of their stadium. So that's pretty cool to go check out. I think they're still affiliated with the Cubs. I'm not 100%. The time I went, they were still affiliated with the Cubs. Elites in the building says Lovey Barkley. My team is the Toronto Blue Jays. Says Shaw. They're awful. Well, they got you while the Yankees were sucking. They got you a couple of World Series there with old Joe Carter dropping rockets. So he was pretty much the man over there, from what I remember. Let's see. Yesterday sucked for the one at Sobo. That car was, oh god, yeah. So you want to talk about real pain? So we were leading the race, and the Hoosier tire just decides to blow it. Just a freak, just a bad tire. Just the tire freakishly just blows out. We had the race covered. We had a 2-second lead at a short track, which is huge. And yeah, pain. But you know what? That's racing. I can't get too upset about it. We did everything we were supposed to do. Then the second race, we were running third, and where a guy chopped us off earlier in the race, we got it. He drove in too deep and did get into the 2 car. So apologies to the 2 car. We do feel bad about that. We went late and we went in deep, so we did touch the 2 car. That got it loose. But then when 17 of Stacy Puryear chopped us, that made the hood start blowing up later in the race. So we had two. We would have won the first race most likely, and then the second race, we had a good chance at a third place finish, and we didn't finish either race. So it was a bad day at the racetrack. But I'm not going to be mad about it, because we did all the things within our control. We did, and we had a good car. We brought a good car to the racetrack. It was fast. So that's all you can do in racing. You can't get too up and too down. Minor league team is in Daytona, says say Kyle. So that's not like crazy far away. Damn Yankees says like dislike. Have you ever had a Reggie bar? I loved them when I was a kid. I've not had a Reggie bar, but I need to look that up, because that was a little bit before my time, so I have to check it out. I do know Reggie Jackson just a little bit before my time when he was actually playing. You had that Algar luck at so. Oh, there you go. That's probably a perfect analogy. Definitely had the Justin Algar luck. Between Truex and Toronto, I may stop cheering for things, says Shaw. So it's been a tough go for Shaw there. Larson's car passes post-race tech. He is officially the winner, says Chrome Diesel. So there you go. Kyle Larson officially the winner, and it looks like all those results will stand. I know the Yankees still got Anthony Rizzo. I miss him playing for us. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about baseball. Like you get so used to a guy playing for you and stuff like that, and then when he goes to another team, man, it's pretty hard to watch. I know back in the day there was a dude named Wade Boggs that played third base. He was forever a Boston Red Sox dude. Then he came over to the Yankees, and a lot of a lot of Red Sox fans had a hard time dealing with that. Yankees struggled in early to mid 90s. They actually had the best record for any team in the 80s. Says Baby Bull. Okay, so maybe it was the early 90s. I was remembering. Let's see. Yeah, y'all looking good right now. 45 and 21 currently. Yeah, looking like us, the Dodgers, and Philly. Philly's looking pretty sharp this year. What's up, Rook? Good to see you on here, my friend. My Braves are okay. The Braves are good, but when they're facing teams with winning records, they seem to struggle a little bit, and they struggle in close games too. Not great this year. Philly got the East on lock. Yeah, Philly's starting to pull away from it. Acuna being out, killing us, says Bumblebee. So speaking of Acuna, and since we got the Chicago expert elite on here, how about when Acuna stole his 70th base? Like, he throws this big huge celebration. They stopped the game, and they were just being super extra with it with the Braves. So. So the next time the Braves come to Wrigley Field, I forget who the player was, but they throw this big huge deal. I forget who stole the base, but somebody stole a base, and they were like, the first person to steal a base on this day this year ever in all time in all of baseball history. And so they made this huge deal over something that wasn't a big deal at all. It was so funny, so funny. So they trolled Acuna Matata. They trolled him back for that 70th stolen base. I'm going to DM you the stadium mock-up Orlando put out to pitch for an MLB team. It's absolutely insane. Would make me actually go to a game, says Say Kyle. And there's somewhere I want to say in Florida too where you can rent out the minor league stadium with your buddies I want to say it's for like $5,000. Like you can have an overnight party there, and the field yours, all the luxury boxes and stuff like that. You can just sleep over. It's an interesting hotel concept if you got enough money between if you get enough people, $5,000 wouldn't be that terrible between enough people to have a game out there. The Dodgers better win it all this year with that overpowered team. The Orioles, a lot of people. If you look at the what is it? The plus minus runs, like how many more runs you scored than the other team. The Baltimore Orioles, they're usually a pretty good bet for sure. Acuna says Bumblebee, laughing out loud. Who goes to the number 21 next year? I'm thinking it's probably going to be Chase Briscoe, and I'm thinking they're going to get some serious Penske help if Chase Briscoe goes over there. Outside chance that he goes to RFK can get one of those charters. Strawberry and Gooden played well for the Yankees, but actually all-time Mets. Yep, that was another one. They stayed in New York, but they just went to the American League team. Chase Briscoe, Delmar says Bumblebee. Murr from Impractical Jokers giving the command today was great. Yeah, so pretty cool. I guess they're starting Impractical Jokers back up. I know it was off air for a season or two, but now they're bringing it back, so that's pretty cool. I think there is any chance Burton can snag a cup ride for next year. I don't know. It's not looking good. Cindric went for a wild ride. Yeah, so it's crazy. And he's I hate to say 22nd's a good finish, but for him to recover from that and finish 22nd when the car at one point almost flipped all the way over, I feel like 22nd's a pretty solid day for that group over there, especially when your pole sitter, I think Joey Logano only finished 20th or 22nd. Let's see here. Yeah, Joey Logano only finished 21st and Cindric right there at 22nd. So I feel like Cindric made the most of his day. I feel terrible for Logano. Like he just had bad luck there. I would have liked to see what he could do with clean air if he didn't just basically they just missed it on pit strategy and stuff like that. I still forgot Harrison Burton was on the track anyway. His car was looking rough. It had a lot of duct tape on it. I was amazed Cindric's toe links held up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like William Byron's toe links break, but Austin Cindric goes up in the air, lands sideways on the tire, and the toe links don't break. These toe links are insane. Like one little thing will break them, and then they'll sit there and take this type of abuse, and they won't break. I don't get it, man. Let's see. BB, do you think Zane Smith not getting any Xfinity starts is hurting him? It's hard to say. The only thing I can compare it to is he stayed in trucks, and Carson Hocevar stayed in trucks. And I don't think Hocevar had too many starts in the Xfinity series, and it hasn't held Hocevar back. Zane Smith might just be a type of guy where it takes him a year or two to get comfortable with this type of car, a la Chase Elliott, a la William Byron. But I think the potential is still there, so I wouldn't want to bail on Zane Smith. I think he might just have a slower learning curve than the freak of nature that is Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar, he's just going to be one of those guys. You kind of put him in anything, and he can figure most of it out. And then the more experience he gets in it, he'll figure out the finer things with it. Decent road course, and that's what I say about Carson Hocevar. It's not that he is. It's not that the people in the same equipment as him are bad drivers. It just shows you how good Carson Hocevar is. Decent road course race with Larson's charge from the back. Bubba can go pound sand, says Matt Robin. So apparently the Bubba deal might have cost his driver there when Bubba got off course, and Josh Berry freaked out and missed his braking point and took out a good chunk of the field. Burton should go back to Xfinity and try to regain his confidence. That's if he lands with a top team. I'm with you on that, Elite. I think he needs some more racecraft, and I think he came up way too early from the Xfinity series. I'm right there with you on that one. Chevy quality toe links, says Rook. We started a fantasy league at my local watering hole. I got some new NASCAR fans in the league. Now they're excited about watching the races. Sadly, some of them are ahead of me in the standings. That's always how it works. It's almost like the more you know about the sport, sometimes the worse it'll make you. You always forget Burton's on the track until he wrecks. Says like dislike. Byron's toe links are made of the same stuff Jonathan Isaac's knees are made of. This has to be at least the third one he's broken. That's not been significant contact. Let's see. I ain't quitting on Zane for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like I think this season just shows you how good Carson Hocevar is at learning things fast. Zane Smith will get better. I'm positive. Yeah, he got better today. He had a good solid finish. Say he was close to 16th here. Yeah, Zane nailed it. So there you go. Josephus is just a dang good dropping it down, and getting gaudy for everybody here. I haven't said it in a while. HMS sucks, says like dislike. Josefus also had some races last year for more experience. Yeah, he did drive the Spire car a little bit, and with the same group too. That can't be denied. Toe link suck. Toe link sucks, says Chrome Diesel. I didn't catch the rest of it. If anybody from Fox is aware of the celebration that we all throw after they wrap up their season, probably not, says Elite. Yeah, so I don't know if you were here for the earlier part of it, but the fact that Fox gave their Bernsey Award to a cameraman is the most 2024 Fox thing of all time. Not that the camera people are the actual problem; it's the director of photography. Just it was the most Fox thing of all time, because the one thing Fox is the worst at is their camera work compared to NBC. So I thought that was pretty funny. Which mega team do you think poaches Carson in the next 3 to 5 years? Probably Hendrick. Maybe Trackhouse. RFK, though. I don't know. So I take that back. It might be RFK because at some point Brad Keselowski has to retire. So I would say Hendrick, RFK. I consider RFK a mega team because I feel like they're a mega team coming. Yeah. So them. Well, I don't know, because you got two over there at Joe Gibbs Racing. That's a good question. That's a good question. Rook, what did I miss with Bubba? Bubba just got off track, and it wasn't anything. He just saved the car, but when he came back on track, it sort of scared or spooked Josh Berry, and he missed his braking. He missed his braking zone, and he overshot it and took out a bunch of people. So it's just a racing deal. But depending on who you ask, Bubba Wallace caused the accident or Josh Berry caused the accident. Or according to Fox TV, apparently Eric Jones ran into Josh Berry, even though he got completely chopped off there. So it is what it is. I had better hopes for Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is good at road courses. For whatever reason, just wasn't his day today. See Kyle, HMS. So Bumblebee going with HMS on the Carson deal. Toe link suck. Is there any fix for the toe link nonsense if we ever go back to solid axles? Well, yeah, solid axles would certainly fix it. LOL, wow, says Elite Precision. HMS, Her Majesty's Service, Hendrick Motorsports. There, Shaw. Is now, I guess. How soon till another charter is officially bought? That's a good question. I mean, I would say pretty soon. They'll probably make that announcement here pretty soon as to who all is going to buy it. Probably the next two that get announced are going to be Trackhouse or 2311. Those are probably the next two that get announced. I just want to see where that extra one goes, because I feel like that extra one is going to be the key to the rest of silly season. Whoever gets that extra one, that's when the pieces will start falling together, right? Because then you can start putting people in seats. Like if RCR gets it, Austin Hill is probably going to sit in that seat. So that extra charter out there that nobody knows where it's going, I feel like, or has any good idea where it's going, is going to be the one that breaks it out. EB already predicted her man getting replaced, says Say Kyle. So yeah, they're thinking Bowman forever on the hot seat, right? So it's always Bowman, and now enter Daniel Suarez into that mix too. Daniel Suarez, the other one, always on the hot seat, even though we won a race this year. Did Denny Hamlin's crew forget to put the motor in the car? Says William Wagaman. Yeah, so Denny Hamlin had a troll question up earlier, but too many people were thinking it was real, so I took it down. But yeah, so Denny Hamlin finishes a lap and some change and gets credited for 2 laps, and that was that for him. I'm a Canadian, so I had to give a shout out to the Queen King. I get a tax cut like as far as saying as fast as Xfinity 10G. Will Deegan be back next year? What are Ford's Xfinity Series plan? I think as long as Deegan has money, she'll be back driving something. And she's pretty good at getting sponsors, so I think she'll be racing as long as she wants to. Let's see. Did they say what caused the 11's engine failure? I missed the first 7 laps and never saw him turn a lap, says Say Kyle. It just blew up. Like they just missed something. It just blew up. They don't know. He didn't miss a shift. They were looking at the telemetry. He didn't miss a shift or anything like that. It never got over revved. It just blew up. So something, probably a 10-cent part failed would be my guess, because they build these things all the time. They never have problems. Probably just a faulty part, if I'm guessing. That's probably going to be my guess for that. All right. Looks like we've reached the end of the chat. I appreciate all y'all for hanging out, and we'll check you on Tuesday for the next one. Peace.